Wait, who's talking first?
And one. Two, one. We like,
Oh my
What?
This always happens when Kurt's not like on the screen. And we have this thing to where we're just like, who's gonna do it first? Am I gonna do it or are you gonna do it?
I know.
But Kurt's here, so have no fear.
he's like,
I forgot.
Here, like
People
like the
can
Wiz.
still hear you.
Yeah. I'm like the voice from above. This is
Oh.
God speaking.
More like the voice
Wait,
from
don't give
below.
yourself that much authority. Let's try a little
I
lower.
make you God from Wu-Tang Clan.
Ooh.
Wait, flipping, right? What it do, y'all? We are the head nurse in charge, and it's Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. You know we about to rock and roll. We got my man E-Money in the building, Chocolate City, baby. And we got Phoenix Nebula. Try to say that name 2 times fast. In the back, doing his best impression of an artiste. Phoenix, what you doing back there?
He getting his barber off.
Tell him my best impression. This is the second best.
Second best? You look good to me.
Cause I usually be in my boxes and shit. I be comfortable.
He got
With a blunt and shit.
he back there painting hentai or something. I don't know what it is, but it's looking good. And on the screen to the left,
That's not the left, that's the
that's
right.
my left. It's my left.
It's definitely wow.
Yeah,
It's
you
my left.
right. Yeah.
It's the
Public school education will blame
What
you
are you
on that
talking
like
about?
we
That
usually
is
do.
my left. I'm facing you. So okay.
But your arm is facing me, so that's your right arm.
I mean,
He's a brick. He's a brick. It is not looking right.
We
He's a
just
brick.
had a full-on debate about what is right and left. Here you go, Sassy.
What?
Now it's the left. Just introduce yourself.
Hi, it's Yokai Sassy here to give you your daily dose of evil and sweet.
What kind of Sour Patch Kid mess you got going on?
She's sour and then she's sweet.
I do beg
Is that what it
you,
is?
and then I say I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
And you
say
can't help
good
it.
evil. What is the sweet evils?
Well, you
Yeah.
see, evil is good.
I agree.
That's true, especially nowadays.
Now, I ain't even gonna do the whole line. Until
Like on Saturday.
Oh, you mean the evil ass?
Yeah. This is a piece of evil. Woo! And next to Sassy, we have another one of our queens. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Not next to Sassy.
You heard.
You're
unless
close
you
enough.
met you.
You're close enough.
I said the queen next to Sassy. You know what?
I'm not next to
Wow.
Sassy.
Damn.
Oh, my bad.
Wow.
I can get my perm on or something.
Oh, no, no,
Shots fired.
Stop that. You know you all king, brother. But
We got a man down there.
the next woman next to Sassy is.
What's up, guys?
Listen, Don don't show up for one
He
show.
threw our equilibrium off. I'm sorry, Don. But, like, could you please, for the love of God, try to be here with us when you can? Because, like, we need you.
Our tech Don,
I told him, I was like, you are missed, friend.
our tech Don is out handling some business on the way down in Texas. Safe travels to that good brother. So
Yes,
your
sir.
man King Kurt Live is
Sending you all love, man.
Yo,
Yeah, we
all
miss
love from
you.
us.
Big time.
And your man King Kurt Live is behind the camera doing the texting. I got my man Dev helping me out, looking me over my shoulder like a guardian angel. But this is gonna be rough. I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's gonna be a rough show, and we're gonna do the best we can. If you can't hear us, too bad. Just let us know. And if you can't see us, well, we wasn't that pretty to begin with. So
Speak for
Well,
yourself.
yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Here we
Pause,
go.
sir.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't noticed, I can't stop looking at myself right now. I look good in this camera.
I miss
They so hyped because now they can actually see themselves on camera.
I
miss
like
my
this.
wig from this weekend. I wish I'd have brought it.
Wait, what happened? So what happened this weekend?
What's up, guys? I'm sure you saw we were at J1 this weekend.
Yes, we were.
Actually, the whole crew. I'm talking about Chocolate City, head nurse in charge. Shout out to Start the Five podcast, Garble podcast,
Beat
Ramblers with
Sneaks.
Rob. What else was it?
Beat Sneaks and the other.
Eric Moran was there.
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Smoke Money. Jay Rich. Violent Burst. All our favorite people was there. We've got anybody. Just know that we love you nonetheless. It's just that we have bad memories due to too much THC. So,
Speak for yourself.
Gotcha. I'm sorry. I mean, not me. I work for the federal government and don't partake of anything stronger than alcohol. But for everybody else, we had a heck of a time. Shout out to the Stereotypers who burned the whole building down with a dope performance.
Yeah.
They will be on the show next week, and we plan to burn this place down.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I've never seen that ever in my life of somebody having like a guitar, DJ, scratch pad, and a mic and a mask. That was so cool, and it had the little sound effects and everything.
Yeah, I have to admit, seeing the Stereotypers live was an experience unto itself. Partying with them afterwards.
Oh, well,
Man.
remember, some things stay in AC.
Yeah, listen, and that's what. Let me just say this.
It's the only story I got.
Let me tell you something. No, E-Money hit the nail on the head. There are just some things that we cannot ever broadcast on this show.
That's why I'm
That
saying.
after party would happen to be one of them, and we're not even going to get into it because Sassy is. Why you look so surprised?
Why are you about to put me on
I'm not
blast?
going to put you
Because
on
I was
blast.
scandally
Yo,
glad
let's talk about what's
Oh,
sex.
God.
Let's talk about. Listen, y'all need to go to Yokai Sassy's cosplay page and see what the succubus was wearing. Lord, Father in heaven, my poor little girl. She was out there.
She all grown up now.
She had the horns on. She had the teeth in. She was killing the game. Did you enjoy cosplay?
I did. I don't know if some people, like, if you were at the prom, you probably saw a more scandally clad version.
I didn't even bring that one up. But
Yeah, then there was a second tier because I was like, all right, like, this is going to be kids. Can't have the booty cheeks out.
So you let them know you had the booty meat out?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. that girl had top sirloin hanging out, and I was like, Lord, Father, put them things away before somebody tried to do something, because we gonna have to be. She had all her brothers with her.
Yeah, I was heavily defended if need be, but everybody was really courteous and polite and respected my space. So.
I guess so. When you got a kung fu master / painter in the back, you had E-Money ready to hold it down
With a sword.
Listen, because he don't play no games, and I'm at least 6'2", 300 plus. Well, nobody gonna bother you. Not while we.
Nobody wasn't bothering you when you was waltzing around doing what you wanted.
I was gonna say we hardly saw you except for when we was on panel.
Kurt was just like, I'm important.
Exactly. Excuse me, peasants. I have business to attend to.
No. See, now that takes me to you, Tech. See what I mean? You see, I like to pick on my girls individually because they held it down and did their own ladies' night panel, and I don't want to say I'm proud of them because I expect excellence. I expect excellence from queens. But the feedback that I got, I didn't even need to go over there and check on them because they didn't need no man to hold down the show. Tell me about that panel.
It was fun. No, I'm kidding. No, it was really great. We had a nice little turnout of people come for our ladies' night panel. We made our own version of dick jokes.
Yeah, we made our own version of that.
Hey, you hear this? They out there making dick jokes.
I know. We
But
weren't there.
not exactly like
But not exactly.
Well,
Mostly.
it was
It was mostly
lady version.
It was mostly vagina.
Yeah.
you were talking about the Virginia?
Yes.
Yes.
Virginias.
The Virginia. That's
Yes.
what I like to call
Shout out to my friends Jim and Sean from my job who came to J1 on my say so because I hyped it up so much. They came to all of our panels.
Yeah, they were really supportive. They were all like, we're over here.
Right, they were like
it.
asking
What's their names?
questions.
Jim and Jack?
Jim and Sean.
Jim and Sean.
Yeah.
Big shout out to y'all for supporting us because, you know what, we can't tell you enough how much love we got the entire weekend. Like, it was overwhelming. I mean, don't get us wrong. We are blessed to be able to have a platform, but it's one thing to be appreciated and have people come up to us and say, hey, we really love what you guys are doing, and we would love to be a part of it in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I mean, I gained a brother in Eric, and you can see my hand. I didn't mean for you to see my hand. Kurt's here.
You just gotta be on camera, don't you? Just gotta be on camera.
Because, you know, I talk with my hands. Anyway, I gained brothers, and I gotta keep my hand back. And then brothers and Eric and Phoenix and JB who are even more family than I can fully express. And that's why we got them in the booth today. We got a couple heavy, I mean, we're not gonna make it too heavy, but we had some pertinent things that they experienced on what I would like to call a pilgrimage of sorts that they went on. We're gonna talk about Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. But first, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this thing, Taffy Wonder, what's going on in Hot Topics?
That is such a good question.
See, she wasn't right. She wasn't right.
Because I'm too busy running my mouth in the chat.
Well, no, that's okay. Because you know what, we can talk.
I stay in the chat.
I just want to talk about a couple things. And like
Oh,
I said,
wait, I have it.
well, go ahead, because our typical feed, we usually have pictures and all kinds of special stuff. I'm going to do the best I
We
can.
bare bones in it today.
Yo, this is
I'm kind of glad you couldn't get any pictures, because you probably was going to try to throw my scandally crazy.
I was about to say, me and Sassy out there, no bottoms, hashtag team
When I
no
went on
bottoms.
there
No,
the next day and
No.
saw,
If y'all want to see Sassy's pictures with what she was wearing, just
I came back to work to all of these. I saw that.
Yo, make sure y'all share this feed, hit the like button, and I'm gonna do my best to pull up the picture. But I'm also gonna pull up a picture of Tef because Tef thinks that I'm not gonna talk about how she had her see-through skirt on and had her own booty cheek meat out there.
And then how you pulled me on stage and was like, I need you to twerk something.
Yo, she
Yeah.
she definitely twerks on command. So fellas, if you're looking for somebody that can
So can I just say, please hit our Patreon for everybody who was like, why aren't you doing poll at the burlesque show? These polls cost money. Money I don't have
And
right
the DJ
now.
costs money too.
And I mean, I got Kurt. He could be my DJ. I'm sure I'm sure he's trying to figure out a way to monetize it anyway.
yo, if I can get somebody to pay to see Tef pole dancing, we're on it.
Exactly.
Definitely.
But hit our Patreon and I will have a poll next year.
Exactly.
Y'all hear that? Y'all want to see Tef on the pole? Y'all need to go ahead on and support us with a couple ducats because, like she said, them poles ain't cheap.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then support us too for the cosplay stuff, because I had a couple of requests from people too who were like, I think it would really be cool if you'd like the one girl from everybody's best girl from Demon Slayer right now that they want me to do.
Oh, the
and
Nezuko?
the main character, her the sister. And everybody's been asking for this, but the problem is Sassy's broke. So
You would be
unless I
so
get
cute.
funding, I can't do these things for you. But if you wanted to fund it, I can dress up as whatever you want me to be.
Look, we'll take requests.
Yes. Requests.
I'm with that.
With
so,
money.
So Tef, while I try to pull up Sassy's booty meat pictures,
Oh my
would
God.
you please
Oh,
talk to people
Jesus.
about these hot topics?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to start off by saying if you enjoyed seeing us last weekend, at the end of the month, we're going to be at the Great Allentown Comic-Con. Out in Allentown, PA. We're going to be there Saturday the 23rd and Sunday the 24th, correct?
Correct.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Confirmation.
So, right. So, we'll be there all weekend. Come stop by, play games, do sing-alongs. Dawn should be back, so it should run a bit smoother.
Yes.
Don't hate on my skills. Listen, I'm doing
No,
this.
I'm actually really proud.
I'm
I'm actually really proud
Just go
of
in the
you.
pictures. I have to say it now. I don't even care that people hear me saying it because it's frustrating me watching you struggle to find these
No,
on
no,
my
I-
timeline.
I'm really proud of you. You did really good
Just
setting
go
everything
in my
up
Nobody
by
pictures.
has
yourself.
to scream at all.
Yeah, you're right. He said we being ungrateful. We asking for too much.
Listen, they want a brother to be working as hard as Don do. I am a personality. I am here to run my mouth. I'm up here trying to multitask.
And
flying.
y'all should see he's sweating right now.
Yo, you ain't never lied, bro. I'm looking through pictures like, Lord. Oh, there we go. Cam. Yo, Cam on the look how he DM'd the pictures right to me.
Oh,
Thank
damn.
you, Kim. He saved the day.
Cam, oh, Lord.
Oh, Jesus.
Lord in heaven.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Listen.
I didn't see that one.
Y'all get to see these pictures in 1 second.
Y'all
Niggas
are-
been a whole set of
Can I please
Oh,
start?
Lord Jesus.
Can I please start hot topics?
my goddamn character.
Oh,
I can't see him.
you're character got on way less than that, fam.
I know.
I'm working
At least
on it.
Well,
Well, she's a PG-13
That
version.
costs
I
money.
need you to do one for me now. Can you do a dark mermaid for me?
A dark mermaid.
Dark mermaid.
Yes.
Why
That's what you
mermaids? Why mermaids have to be like the shit now? What's up with that?
They've
First of
always
all,
been the
mermaids
shit, man.
always been the shit.
Always.
Oh,
Number
alright.
one. Number
Since
two.
Flash
Come
came in.
correct, she
Number
said.
two.
What about the dragons? Like, you know, what the
Nobody
dragons, like
would
drag
ever-
queens.
no.
What
She's
I've
a
al-
welcome mermaid.
And I've always been in mermaids and sirens and stuff like
Ariel.
that. I'm just waiting to drag a man to his death. I don't know what y'all mean.
Oh, well, jeez.
Damn, all right.
Just kidding.
Or are you? Bum, bum, bum.
I'm about to say, you're not the only succubus around here.
Whoa,
Somebody got
okay.
competition
Excuse
up
me.
here.
So what?
I've said it's a team effort.
I'm
not-
mad you just said.
I'll put my headphones on.
See, this is why we can't be
Wait, who was sucking on the
PG-13.
bus? What?
Oh,
Wow.
On the bus.
You gotta get your fare any way you can.
Wait, was it
I don't think a
It's-
Was it,
250.
you were about to say
I don't think a
What was it?
250.
was it Megabus?
Was it Megabus? I don't know, $26.
Usually it's 30. This is the fucking 33, man.
Go ahead, Jeff. You were
One
talking
of the
about
stretch
hot
joints.
topics.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, the theme of our panel are women helping women. We don't have to compete. We can drag these men to their death together.
Yeah, you know what? You were absolutely right.
See,
this is a
women
team effort.
helping women.
High five.
Yes.
Air high five.
So for hot topics, Dave Chappelle is going to be honored with the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor.
Yay!
Yay.
He
Suck
deserves
on that,
it.
haters.
Yeah, all those people who thought I'm pretty sure everybody was plotting on his downfall once he came out with that latest stand up, but
I feel
it
like it
didn't
was
work.
mostly just like it's like you said, people in the media were more mad than actual members of like that community.
He got what you wanted.
Yes,
Oh.
I love it.
Yes, your dark mermaid.
Let me finish it.
I love
See what
it.
you can do with it.
I'm here by. I'm already plotting.
Oh,
I had my titties out and everything.
Ain't no plot.
Well, jeez.
Ain't no plot. There's just a spot right here on the table for that money.
How
PayPal.
much is it?
Huh?
How much?
PayPal.
It's a 2-piece. It's got that piece with it too.
Oh.
They come.
Show the audience now. Show the audience. Don't hide it. Don't hide it.
So you gotta bag them. They gotta come together.
Oh, it's like the Transformers Voltron.
Can I get the sketch?
Let's see what it's
Nah,
gonna come
I'm
out
maybe.
like on the camera
Maybe.
for everybody.
Maybe.
There you go. Now, there you go. If y'all ain't see it,
Oh, so you.
Oh,
I found
God.
it. And I don't know if I did it properly, but this is the best you gonna get in seeing Sassy in her full succubus form.
Is that high res?
Listen, let me tell you something.
That's
This
a
is about-
strong camera. I know that much.
This is as far as I plan to zoom in. I don't need no problems. Sassy, could you tell us about this ensemble?
So this ensemble is formed of things that some of it that I got from this website called Dolls Kill, and they do kill evidently. And
That's from Saturday though. That's not from Friday when you had on less.
No,
well, we don't know. We don't need to put those up there. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, then that bus is past, and then you just didn't see it.
Sassy, I need more pictures to bring up. Don't worry, baby.
Yeah.
We ain't doing all. We only. Everybody need a job in the morning.
Oh, thank you, Steph. I see you. You're in here hurting me.
Oh.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and please forgive my lack of technical skill. We're doing the best we can while we can do it. This is probably the most hood that you're gonna see this episode until Don get back. We appreciate you, Don, because I don't want to do this crap. But we rocking and rolling. If you can, Tef, you wore something scantily clad as well. If you got the pictures, you can DM it to a brother, and I'll pop it up on here. But while you're doing all that, what's next on the hot topics?
Adventure Time possibly being revived on HBO.
I care less about that.
What I don't understand why. Well, I'm going to talk about it because I do care to speak on the subject, but I don't understand why they're making why is it continuing when I thought it ended? It ended fine. They had a solution. Why does there need to be more?
Yeah, I was like, a lot of people that I know who watched it were pretty satisfied
And
with
why
the way it
HBO?
ended.
Like,
Right,
are
why not
they
take
planning
it back to?
on including it to be like an
More
adult
adult.
themed thing
Probably must
now?
want more adult, probably.
I guess.
Maybe they're gonna try to push that whole shipping of Princess Bubblegum and Marceline and be able to like do it the way that they want to do it, because they kind of always like tried to sort of hint towards them being in some kind of relationship.
But think about Adult Swim when that came out. I guess they're trying to go more towards that.
Yeah, but that's what I don't understand about like Cartoon Network when there's shows like that they want to be more adult themed. Why they won't just pass them over to Adult Swim as opposed to like going to a whole nother channel?
Right, because like with the way Rick and Morty, which comes on next weekend, next week I think.
It's supposed to be like the whole half of the first season.
Yeah, well no, it's the 4th season.
Well, half of the I don't know why
It's the
I said
4th
the first season. Well, I mean when I say that, I guess I mean for the year, but
Right.
yeah, I don't get why they only did half there, and they're gonna do the rest of it with that HBO app that I don't want to have to pay for. But I really like that show, so what am I gonna do? You should get this and let me borrow it.
Wait, which
Well, they might
HBO
bank on
app?
that.
Which HBO app?
I think it's like this new HBO, like
I
another
have
version
HBO.
of HBO Go, but it's
I was gonna say because I have HBO. I have
Yeah.
HBO now. I
But
think.
I don't think it's. I think it had a different name than that, though. That's why
It's
I'm
all
saying,
HBO.
Yeah.
It's the same
Oh,
thing.
so it'll still be connected. Well, then that means you just send me your information and let me mooch off of it because
Aren't I so
somebody,
lucky?
Mark, doesn't have HBO on their cable, but they have Stars for whatever reason.
But we're leaving out one special thing that's coming in next week, which is Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah, I
Yes.
forgot about that. I don't want that.
Well, the Star Wars,
The Mandalorian. Yeah.
that looks hot.
It does. I wasn't.
It definitely looks hot.
That looks
What are you
hot.
talking about? That
That
show
looks
looks
hot.
dope. I'm ready for it.
I like better movies right now. Those movies right now, they kind of suck.
I'm looking forward to the Mandalorian more than I am the movie.
Yes.
I don't even catch up with the stuff that I'm supposed to be watching now. I'm behind, so I wouldn't want to pick up another app to be more behind than shows that I'm not gonna get to. That's the only reason I don't want it.
I kind of want it for like the movies. My son doesn't watch a lot of like TV shows. We mostly just watch movies at the house.
Oh,
So
okay.
like that's kind of like the appeal of it for us because they took down like Moana and Cars, like stuff Toy Story, right? Stuff he really likes to watch. They took it all down. Like his dad like downloaded it for free or whatever. So, but having it on the app is just more convenient because then he can get up there and put it
Well,
on
at least I
himself.
know. Excuse me, who to apply to when I do decide maybe it might be some one thing that pops up a whole movie that I really want to see. I know who to come to.
Yeah. So, are you still playing with that picture?
Listen, you just do what you do while we handle the technical side over here. Y'all go ahead and run this show.
All right. So next on the list,
Don't worry, y'all. Tough booty cheek meat coming up.
Wow, I'm just glad you don't have that video up
On
there.
hot platter, like,
I'm just glad you don't have that video.
Oh, I do.
No, stop. Stop.
Booty cheek meat on deck. There we go.
So you're gonna put it right in the middle? Well, I hope that's gonna look different.
That's perfect. No. You just run the show. We know this.
Kanye West admits he asked people not to have premarital sex while working on his gospel album and exercise and doing too much, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
think he needs to take his medication. That's what I think Kanye West needs to do.
I'm sick
Y'all
of
get
people.
to see Ted Booty Cheek meat because Kanye doesn't want these pictures to be exposed. These are the pictures that Kanye do. If you got these pictures out on the internet, Kanye don't want you to work on his album.
Oh my God.
Kanye need to stop.
He do need to stop. Something's going. I don't know what's going on with this man. How many times is he gonna ask us for help before we help him?
No. Here's my problem with Kanye. So Kanye does a whole song called "Father Stretch My Hands." Y'all remember that? But you know, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot
Oh.
in the morning. You remember that song?
I
Basically,
think so.
basically, he took a gospel song. And then he rapped over it. And one of the opening lyrics is, "If she bleaches her butthole." Over
I didn't know that was a gospel song.
Yes.
I don't know.
Father, stretch my hands. repertoire, in your past, you have used gospel music and talked about bleach booty holes over the gospel music, please don't tell me about the morality that you need to finish your new album called, what was it, The King is Here, The King is Back?
Something like that, yeah.
Jesus
I
something,
mean,
yeah.
Jesus
is
is
king.
good,
Jesus
but
is
it's
king.
just, I can understand why somebody who was really like religious wouldn't want to get involved with it because, like you just said, that's not a good look.
Yeah, come on. Really, that's what we doing in these streets?
Yeah.
But don't forget, he changed when his mom died.
Oh,
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
now. Thank you. So I just had a conversation with somebody today that said the same thing. Kanye ain't been the same since his mother passed.
No, his mom died and he lost his mind.
His
I
whole
think
mind.
that's just really who was keeping track of what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything else.
From
But also, like in his past music, he said, "When I get money, I'm going to start acting different." And now that he acting different, people are like, "What happened?"
No, I'll say this. Genuinely, I have found that grief definitely will change you as a human being. Now, some people change subtly, some people change drastically. I can tell you definitively who I am as a person before my father passed away and who I am as a person after my father passed away are two different individuals.
Yeah, and I mean, what was it? Joseph has a point. He says God has not called us to judge others.
Now, and honestly, that's the only thing about being imperfect human beings. Now, as a business owner, if you so choose to have a certain stipulation to work on your particular project, you can't hate on nobody for that. If he says, hey, look, but really, who's regulating this? Who's chasing around? Who's getting cheats?
I was about to say, unless he bought chastity belts for everybody on his team
And
and
they better
kept
be gold
the
if
key.
you want me to put it on, because I need to be able to hawk this thing once this project is done. It smell like balls, but they'll still take it home.
Ew.
Not the type of jokes we were missing on our panel.
No, it's not that. You got a gold chastity belt, it's going to smell like tank. I don't care what anybody says.
Hit a golden shit. That's
Because you can't take it off.
that sounds so uncomfortable too. Like it would be like creasing in your skin. I
Yeah,
don't even
yeah.
want to think about how terrible that would
But
be.
you ever try to dance his belt? With that wear?
No, I have not.
That's torture.
These cotton Hain boxer briefs are as far as King Kirklow can go because they stretch well. I cannot have anything restricted.
Didn't you have to wear a jock strap at some point? You were in
When you played
Well,
football.
I let him swing.
You playing a dangerous
Yeah,
game out there.
because if somebody would have just
I was that good.
hit you the
Nobody
right way.
Nobody's going to hit my freaking beans. I was good. I wasn't worried about it.
All
right.
Don't listen to Kurt if you ever try to take up in football.
Hey,
Right.
listen,
Wear your
granny
protect
advocating-
yourself.
I'm not advocating for you to not use a cup, but I couldn't find one to fit me.
You just had to use that as a plug, a shameless plug for yourself.
Yes.
And I'm not going to hit the button either. I'm glad you
No, hit the
can't
hype
read.
button for me.
I'm
Sax.
mad you
Sax,
can't.
hit the hype button for me.
I'm happy you
Don't
can't
don't-
read.
don't-
do
get-
it. Don't do it.
Sax.
Don't get a
I'm
punch.
Don't
just pulling it
encourage
over
him.
here so he don't touch it.
You know what you're. My brother always
You said don't do it. You going to trade on us like that.
No, but that means he owes me something. It's called leverage.
Yes, see,
leverage.
Fine, fair.
He looked me out. Is there anything else left in the hot topics besides before we get talking about golden
So
tapes?
we have two things. Disney quietly putting Fox classics like Gone with the Wind and The Sound of Music in the Disney Vault, which makes sense because they want you to pay for their subscription service.
Oh, I'll just fall asleep on that though.
Oh, well. It's got like...
Those are racist ones, right?
No, it's got like and it's got a Miracle on 34th Street and like a couple other stuff that people really like to watch. So, but they're putting them in the Disney Vault. It only makes sense because, it comes out next week. They want you to pay for it.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, you know what? I put it like this: Disney is killing the game. They're gonna have every single solitary episode of the '90s X-Men series. They're gonna have
There's a whole Simpsons catalog.
the whole. Can you imagine watching the entire Simpsons catalog from start to finish?
That's gonna take some time.
Oh, but see, you know what? But isn't it like on Netflix? You have those shows where you're like, I want to get the one where I know there's a lot of episodes because I'm gonna binge it.
But they already been binging it on what is it? That FXX or whatever is FX.
No, they didn't.
FXX.
Yeah, really.
No. It was up on Hulu for a long time.
Yeah.
They were up on Hulu, but Disney owns 25% controlling stake in Hulu.
So I mean, I'm not that excited for that though because I've been watching that 24/7 Simpsons stuff that they have on there the whole time.
I'm a big Simpsons fan. So
Me too, though.
like,
Bart's my favorite.
Like I of all the trivia that I know, I have an ungodly amount of Simpsons trivia in my head.
That is not something to boast about.
Oh, no. I get plenty of play because of it. So take your hater talk somewhere else.
So he would have you think.
Like you sliding up in people's DMs with Simpsons.
Hey girl,
Like,
hey.
do you know their address?
Wait. Is that your background when you're doing your thing?
No, I don't.
I see you about to just. I thought we said some things we don't talk about.
Oh, that's right. Like,
yeah, all right. I'm about to say.
To finish off Hot Topics, we're going to end on a high note. The NCAA will permit athletes to be compensated for their names, images, and likenesses. Big win.
Huge win. Huge.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, the NCAA is college basketball. And
All the nerds are like,
That's what I was like because I don't like sports.
so it's college basketball, and they're gonna allow them to actually like make money. Like these students have to go to school, maintain like a good GPA, play and travel, and be away from their families and all this stuff for free for all these big companies who like fund the teams, and they don't get jack squat because of it. So this is actually a huge deal. They've been trying to do it in college football for a long time, and I think that maybe this is a step in the right direction.
These colleges make buku bucks. The images
Especially
of these young brothers.
big, predominantly
And
white
they feel as
institutions.
though the fact that they get free tuition is sufficient. Let me tell you something. Tuition at best for a bachelor's degree was what is it, about 6 figures now, about $100K.
No, well, even lower than that. Really.
Okay, so let's just say anywhere between $60,000 and $100,000. These people make, like, if you're a top tier college player, the jersey sales, the video games, the merch that you sell at the school shop. I'll never forget Chris Webber. If you don't know who Chris Webber is, he's one of the best power forwards to ever play basketball. He was a part of the Fabulous Four. Talk about it, the Fabulous Five from Michigan. And one thing that he said he did not have, when he was in college, he was a part of one of the most illustrious sports teams to ever grace college basketball. He did not have enough money to buy a sandwich, but he watched somebody walk into the sports shop and buy a jersey for $50 with his name on the back of it, and he got zero money for that.
Wow, that's terrible. I didn't know that was going on.
And that's the sad part about it, because honestly, the college owns the name. If people
and they say, well, it's a privilege to pay, and you get free free tuition and
you
all of
keep
that
that tuition,
stuff.
homie.
But let's be real about it, though. Let's be real about brown skin on the field. Let's say we all walked off. What happens then?
Now you said this is you want to just segue right into this Black Wall Street
So
thing.
actually, we touched on it a couple of weeks ago when we brought up the fact that Jamela Hill said that more black athletes should pick HBCUs over the predominantly white colleges and go play there because it would because they actually do more for their communities and give back, and it would make those schools like better contenders and things like that.
Big time.
So we did touch on that before, just to bring that up.
I'm a big proponent of, for all my football gamers out there, for all my football nerds, y'all remember when NCAA came out? They never had names on the actual characters. You could create them, you could animate yourself, but you could not add a name. Now, that's how far-reaching this restriction goes. The fact that these young men now, think about that, as a high school graduate, at 18 years old, you go to a decent college, and you become a popular player. Now you can provide for your family at an earlier age. Remember, people only leave college early when they play sports because they want to hurry up and get to the big leagues so they can provide for their family. Now these young brothers can actually go get an education.
Right.
Like, I'm all for sports, but when you're in college, get the benefit of that education because injuries happen.
Yes.
Things happen, life happens, and after sports, you need something to fall back on.
No, and a lot of them just don't. First of all, they barely got through high school and drop out of college as soon as they can, and then they are broke within like 5 years after they leave the league.
Well, it's not even that. It's all actually. I say this, at least from junior high through high school, there should be courses on learning how to make your money and how to keep your money properly for you, so you can pay your bills, pay your mortgage, take care of family. They're not teaching that at all. They want you to go in debt big time before you even leave college. Then you're stuck in the system, and the system controls you.
Yeah. And even some of the players that are examples of that. Charles Barkley, he's a psychology major. Who knew that? Charles Barkley can sit you on the couch and help you work through some of your emotional problems. Shaquille O'Neal has a doctorate.
What?
He's Dr. Shaquille O'Neal.
What?
Right. You would not know this.
And especially not him.
This
They
silly
always
self.
played him to be like the oaky tall dude that doesn't do anything but sports.
That's Dr. Shaq.
Right.
That's Dr. Shaq for the rest of you.
Yeah, right.
So all I'm saying is, young brothers, especially, I'm not sure if any of you ever hear this show, but you have a rare opportunity now to not only monetize yourselves at an early age, but to brand yourself. Yeah. Remember, if you're a sports player, you are a company and an entity in and of yourself. Yep. So now you get to build your brand at an early age.
And to the mothers and fathers and family members surrounding these kids, protect these children, because a lot of these kids sign these deals and don't read them, don't know what's gonna happen, and then all of a sudden they're broke because somebody else is taking all of their money.
You ain't never lied about that. Tev, is there anything else in the hot topics?
We had a trailer next, but
that's not going down. I can tell you that from the rip. That's not going down at all. So we might as well just get ready to segue into the next subject.
So Eric, you were at J1, and you were at a con right before that too as well. Tell us all about it.
All right. So, the con before that was, it was Underground Comic Con.
I was going to say, you were literally just at too.
Too. So, Friday night was Underground Comic Con in Delaware. Jabbar and I, we started that thing about 6 years ago. And we, at the 5th year, we said, you know what, we're going to start doing another different type of con. So, we gave the rights to someone else to run it. And, the show was cool, but we wanted something different. Yeah.
You're not helping me.
He's back there making noises.
I'm telling the truth though. I'm fuck all that.
So that's what you were trying to say.
But mainly the con scene has changed a lot through the years. I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I know new people that take control of cons is that you got to put footwork in. If you're not going to do the footwork, go out there and meet the people, no one's going to come. And if you think the internet's going to bring people to you, no. Internet is so easy to say, yes, I'll be there, yes. There's no true commitment.
Yeah.
There's no true commitment.
And we learned that on Saturday, me and Tuff. Sometimes there's not any from talking to people, because there were a lot of people we talked to. I mean, there were people who came to the panel, but like a handful of those guys who wanted to stand there and be like, you look nice, and we're talking, and we're like, hey, well, while you're at it, this show's going on tomorrow.
Yeah,
You come to it. And I'm looking for these faces, and I'm like, well, where the crap were they at?
Right. The second I stood up, they wasn't shaking my ass in my see-through skirt. Like, they weren't exactly, like, paying as much attention.
Exactly.
and the cons are, I always say this, for, like, true Comic Cons are, I would say if you're there for the cosplay, it's cool. But you should be really there for the creators, because most of the vendors and the guys that have done DC and Marvel stuff, that stuff's been out there for ages. You go to any comic book shop and get that stuff, but the independent creators that are making new content, those ones you should be looking at, because it's a new future of where things are going at.
I feel like I should be into that more, because usually I go to like the artwork and like the little like trinkets and stuff like that. So like there's this one lady, she makes like hair bows, like headbands, coin purses, and stuff like that. And I met her at Amalgam, and I saw her at J1, and I was like, oh my God, you're here! I have to buy something. Yeah. Super nice black lady. It's like AG
She's right beside us.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's right beside us. Yes.
So and I was like, you're here, so I have to buy something from you, and I spent like $20.
But like I said, as long as you, especially when you're building up that reputation of meeting other creators, and if they have their own niche is great, and also get to follow them in different cons. But like I said, the thing is that when you go to a con, we look at people's with bags in their hand, and and most cons lately have been just no bags. It's just like, I just want to come here just to look at things. I'll come right back. I'll like the Terminator. I'll be back. It's a petting zoo.
It's a petting zoo.
And it's like, are you here to just look around? Or are you here to invest in something new and different?
Yeah.
And the cons that I started and that I will keep continuing doing are cons that you're investing into other projects that you believe will actually flourish as time goes on.
Yeah, it's just sad how much people don't want to support or fund other people's like projects. Cause what was it? There's this woman who actually was at my job. She makes soaps and she sells them. But the only thing anybody could focus on doing is complaining about like that she charges like $6 a piece for the soap. And I mean, like, she's making this stuff, so that sounds fair to me, and it smells good, because I actually got a lemongrass bar, soap,
but not even that. It lasts longer than
and then like, well, if I could have got a bottle of Dove, and that would have lasted me longer. And I'm like, well, would it have, like, really?
And is it
natural?
It's natural.
Yeah, exactly, because now we're not putting all of these, because there's a lot of chemicals and sulfates and stuff like that aren't good for your skin in those soaps. And personally, I'm not really a big fan of Dove, because it feels like lotion. Like, I don't want to wash up with lotion.
You don't even feel clean.
Deep into the soaps. I just wanted to jump back real quick and ask you, E. One of the reasons that I think that it's important for you to get your particular message out is because of your experience recently traveling down Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I can't even quantify the idea of experiencing Black Wall Street in 2019. And if you could, because unfortunately, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we got LIT Karaoke tonight, so it's kind of a shortened show. We're going to kind of bug out of here around the 9:15 frame, and we don't have much time left, but I want to be able to really delve into that and get to the meat and potatoes of that experience, because with Watchmen recently on HBO shining a light to it, and apparently it's been pissing off white folks left and right, because 200,000 people decided to stop watching the show because of it, or they
became more self-aware.
And so, you know what? Don't let me ramble. If you don't mind, could you kind of give us an idea of, number one, what Black Wall Street was, and your experience when you and Phoenix went down there?
All right, Phoenix, you want to start off? You want to start off? Oh, you paint.
No, you paint. This
ain't
all
worried
you.
about-
I would say he talked about his experience last time. Let's talk about your experience.
Well, flying down to Tulsa, the area is nice. People are cool. People are friendly. But when you get to talk to people and ask them what really happened here, it's more like brainwashing, where, well, we don't want to talk about that right now. Or, you know what?
Wait, they didn't want to even talk about it?
No. No.
You wait.
That's a stain on that history, dog.
It
That's
is
a
stain.
No, because they
That's
don't
not
want
gonna come
to.
out.
They don't want to admit how they got those properties and things like that.
Well, and not even that. Not even the white people. Also the black people as well.
Really?
Really?
You mean
Yes.
the black people in the area didn't want to, not so much not acknowledge it.
Not acknowledge it, but
PTSD, dog.
there you go. It was almost like a war veterans account, where I don't want to go in that. It hurts too much, and my family won't talk about it. And my friends, we rarely talk about it, because it just brings so many heartbreaking issues to the surface. And walking around that city, if you're a spiritual kind of person and you feel energies around you, the air is pretty dead.
Wow.
It's pretty dead. The surface is, oh, we're nice people, but when you get down into them, we are just so dead inside.
It's like Stepford Wives almost. Like they're all shiny and chrome on the outside, but on the inside, it's
When you dig in and ask for information, it's almost like a wall. And the zeal, we go like New York, go to New Jersey, people have zeal or step and everything else. It's almost like being in the Matrix.
Wow.
It's like being in the Matrix. It's just very odd. And me and Phoenix, we went to the Black Wall Street Museum, met the curator and a couple of staff, and we found out about when they were trying to get funding to keep the doors open because they were funding everything themselves. And when they asked the city for help, it was more like, well, you guys are more of almost like a irritation. Yes,
Wow.
you're more of an irritation. And if you want funding for this, the last person that asked for funding, we wanted her to pretty much bark and act like a dog if we gave her money and beg for any money from us to support your foundation.
Wow.
That's unfortunate.
It's one of them that's gonna come back and really bite that whole state in the ass.
Yes. Now
That's
they're
disgusting.
trying to be nice now because it's almost the 100th year of the burning of the town. So now the state's trying to give some money to the foundation to certain areas around it because they had to build up a little bit because it's been about 100 years now. So the world is watching, and people outside of the United States, and it's kind of funny that people outside the United States know about Black Wall Street, but the people here, it's kind of been shoved aside or swept beneath the rug, where we don't want to talk about this matter. And it's a shame. Well, Germany, we talk about Hitler. We talk about the Holocaust.
That's different. They did something about it.
Here, we're not.
Right.
We're making so nothing happen
Atrocity happens in this country, and we just step over it.
on a daily
Well,
basis.
no. If black atrocity.
Yes,
That's not necessarily true.
I think
Ask
it's
some
just
Native Americans
anybody's
about
case.
what's going on.
Well, I consider us to be black folk. We all people of color. I'm just honestly.
Yeah.
But when I say that, and I joke because you're absolutely right. Not to invalidate what happened to the Native Americans, because outside of slavery, I think that's one of the largest atrocities that ever happened on the American soil. But when you start really breaking down the idiosyncrasies of what it takes to pay back what was lost.
You can't do that.
Like,
Can't do it.
And we could go into the reparations conversation and all of that, but there is no way. I saw something recently, and I don't want to take too much time away from you, but I just want to speak on this that I saw that was like the perfect example and explanation for this in particular. Somebody said, "Why can't they just get over it? Why can't they just get over it? And why can't, if they can be proud of being black, why can't I be proud of being white?" And this was the explanation that a white man gave, a Caucasian brother gave. Listen, we love our allies. He said, "See, you're not essentially white. See, you can track yourself back to Ireland and Scotland. You can track yourself back to Paris and France and Italy. You can track yourself back to the Vikings in Norway and Greenland. African Americans can't track themselves back to Africa. So then all we can do is by default take pride in black cultural heritage because black is all we know. We don't have a homeland. I can't be proud of being from Egypt. I can't be proud of being from Zimbabwe or South Africa or Uganda or any of those places that are intrinsically associated with people of color. We can't track that back ever. So being proud of being black is much different than saying I'm proud to be white. See, you have a cultural heritage that you can call back on. Call back on that cultural heritage. If you're proud to be an Italian American, if you're proud to be an Irish American, if you're proud to be Scottish, more power to you. Nobody's got a problem with that. But when somebody says, I'm proud to be black, it's not saying necessarily that black is better than anything else. It's just all that we have. And that's why something like what happened at Black Wall Street is just so, it just sets everything back because this happened in 1920.
Not that far off.
Slavery was over. And we were making, and a lot of people, speak on it, but a lot of people always think that we were struggling. This place was not struggling, right?
No, the 20s were actually a great time for like black people.
Come on, Fanny,
21 millionaires.
21 millionaires out of Black Wall Street.
And this is in,
At that day
this is in
time.
1921.
Yes. And it was about 3 square miles of city.
And see, what bothers me is, who do we ever hear about? Madam C.J. Walker. maybe Marcus Garvey. When we talk about wealthy black, we don't hear much about that. 21 millionaires?
I was not aware.
They didn't
of
trust
this.
the
I'll
banks.
say that.
Yes.
They knocked down the
Yeah,
hotel.
they never like explained it in depth for what it was. It was always, oh no, it was just this really great community that black people built.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
but
it was
never
like Negro-topia.
Yeah.
right.
Well, the thing is, don't forget, a lot of the ideas of having machinery of contractors was there. You know, they had their own system of electricity. They had their sewer systems.
They had their own Pico system?
Yeah.
What, did they have their own Comcast? Because I hate them.
Oh, damn.
You need to stop.
I'm just saying.
Even black Comcast would be bad.
They even had towers actually to hover for blimps. They had towers for that also.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, because they had their own import-export system,
Yes.
right?
They did,
Yeah.
yes.
Which is the lifeblood of any community.
Big time.
It's like
Transportation.
4 or 5 aircraft carriers came out of there too.
Yeah.
Like the ships, the actual battleships came out of there.
Yeah.
Train system. No.
Bus system.
Also,
Also
the
did
jetty.
public
Well, there's
transportation.
the jetty that they use in Atlantic City. That actually was a name from a guy that actually was actually a black pilot that actually had a fleet of planes and also buses, and that's how he developed the whole transit system.
And
Was
talking
it-
about this shit today, they still gotta use.
They still have to use the name of jetty for other transportation systems because of that guy.
Really?
Wow.
Yes,
So he still, because he had impacted it, I'm assuming.
big time. The architecture of the area was when you went inside some buildings, almost like cathedrals. Some of the buildings that were built back in the 20s, and they had this very unique tunnel system underneath of some of these buildings that when you were trying to get to other places without people noticing you, you would go in these tunnels, and they stream all around the city. And there's also
It sounds like Disney World.
you know what? When you think about it, yes. Yes, when you think about it, it's like this.
Yeah, I was trying to keep track of it because I knew that was gonna happen. It's just a stink
it's
bug,
a
and
little
it
buggy.
scared the crap out of us. And I knew that was gonna happen, but I didn't know where he
Phoenix
went.
came to her rescue.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Bugs are scary. I would have ended up doing it too, and I was hoping that it didn't end up popping up near me, and I lost him. I was like, oh crap, where did he go?
She scared me.
And then that's where he ended up.
No, them things
I'm glad I wasn't
stink.
drinking that. Don't do
Yeah.
that again.
Yeah, right.
Things stink.
But
Yeah, trying to
but
be
the culture in the area,
What happened?
very upbeat. The community was there to support one another, and that's one thing about Black Pride, Black Heritage, is that this whole community was started by brown people, and they wanted to flourish. But it didn't matter if you were white, Indian, whatever. If you're there to chill, relax, and be yourself, you're welcome to that community.
Yeah.
Now, when you go across, now there is a dividing line of railroad tracks that divided them from the more Caucasian area, where you went across those tracks, you had some issues.
Now let me ask you a question, because Steph made a good question in the chat. Can we rebuild it? Wait, Phoenix, you start.
Well, you go ahead.
That kind of the situations are different. You know what I'm saying? You had the Trail of Tears. You got people coming in from desperate in the time shit. You know what I'm saying? In their era, they didn't have no choice but to build and trust each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They were forced into that, and they made the best of it. They really made the motherfucking best of what they had.
And also, when you build on top of a massive graveyard, what did you expect to come out of it?
Okay, so let's say we relocate. Maybe we won't do it in that place with that negative history and that negative energy. Can we build Black Wall Street somewhere else?
Well, there were other Black Wall Streets. That was the only one.
All right, don't talk to me about that.
Well, look at Atlanta, Georgia.
I agree with you.
That's what it was.
Chocolate City, baby.
Chocolate City, baby.
Anything's possible, but it's not gonna be like that. That's
No.
all I'm saying.
Well, you know what? Because I don't think you can replicate a Black Wall Street. I think you can innovate something new.
Yes.
I mean, at that time, landowners, people who were building there's a term called generational wealth. We will never get back the money or the privilege that was lost in that economic boom and we lost out on that generational wealth.
Right.
Yes.
Now, the only way to compensate that would be through some form of reparation. Take, whatever, calculate how much.
Well, I'm still waiting for a mule in my 4 acres.
You in 40 acres of the mule?
Yeah, what's up?
Listen, Spike Lee, the only one giving us 40 acres of the mule right now, brother. And I can tell you this, but you know what the sad part is? 40 acres will probably get you around $1 million now. If they actually just gave us.
I was gonna say if they gave you the monetary value of that.
Yeah, the 40 acres.
And a mule, like.
Well, no, you can keep the mule. Give me a Ford Focus.
No, because like you have to calculate for inflation, so.
A mule might be worth something.
Would be now.
How much is mules going for now? I don't know. I'm not sure how much a mule costs.
I don't know, but I
No, it's about the value that it brought to the property at the time. Like they.
Like a mode of transportation.
Right, it was a mode of transportation. They also tended the fields, like
Yes, correct.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
so
Yes,
it's
it's
more.
So it would be like a John Deere backhoe type of
Pretty
situation.
much, yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Like you gotta do the work.
Yeah, you gotta work, though. You gotta
I'm
work.
with that.
A little elbow grease.
You give me a backhoe and 40 acres, I would. I know you don't keep your land. If I could just give my own personal opinion, I think if you provide free education for life, like I can go and be whatever I want to be, and I can go to school forever, however it takes to be. If I want to be a doctor, you pay it for it. If I want to be a lawyer, you pay it for it. And tax breaks. I shouldn't have to pay property tax, and I shouldn't have to pay federal income wage tax. I'll pay the city tax because the city might not have did nothing, but federal tax, you do those three things, and that would sway. And you can put a time limit on it. You can say, because honestly, after a certain while, we will catch up.
Yeah.
And then future generations can then benefit from being on an equal playing field.
They'd have to do it for 400 years.
Oh yeah, You got to at least match the amount of time that you was profiting off my people. But we don't. Can you imagine? We're not even a full about 100 years away from slavery. Like it's almost like infancy.
Well, slavery I guess somewhat ended when we were actually able to finally vote.
Yeah, because I'm about to say, if we're talking about civil rights is the 1960s.
So legally, well, no. So you got to to vote during when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, but then they came in with all these Jim Crow laws to like
red line.
Right.
Now, I'm talking now. Mind you, we're viewed as human beings, and there's some semblance because I still, just because the laws say we equal, don't mean that we're equal.
Supposedly 2/3 of a human, but anyway.
Yeah. What was it, 3/8? Either way.
Yeah, something like that.
But you figure it would genuinely take probably 400 years from 1970. I think.
70-ish, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would say 1970 forward to even equate to the damaging effects of slavery, even if you put reparations in place. Now, Bernie Sanders, and we do not advocate for any political party here on this show. Politics, I kind of stay away from.
Yeah.
That always goes south.
Well, and not in that style. It's just at the end of the day, I love what Marcus Garvey said. Forget all this trying to be equal in this land. Get up, let's go build Black Wall Street somewhere in sovereign. They did it with the
in Liberia.
Jews in Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Tell that to the Palestinians.
Well, yeah, they definitely got them up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's a whole nother conversation. I was about to say that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is a sovereign land was given as a reparation for an atrocity.
I don't want a sovereign land. My people built this country. I want it here and now. I'm not going nowhere.
I'm ready to go. I just was saying that this weekend, and I don't get it on why. Like at this point, we've been given so many signs. At this point, that
it's like a bad breakup. Like we just need to go.
Yeah, like we just need to go. I'm done. I'm tired of trying to force this to work here because at this point, how many times have we keep trying it? Then we keep hearing all of these, but if you do this, then maybe, if you do this, then maybe, and we've been hearing that for
It's called pull your bootstraps up.
And then we feel dumb because I'm still here.
No, and that pull yourself up by your bootstraps, the guy who actually coined that phrase meant it as an impossible feat of strength. It's not something you're supposed to be able to do. So it's been bullshit from the beginning since its inception. And the fact that people keep spouting it as something you're supposed to do, like, oh, well, I did it, why can't you? No, you didn't. It's an impossible feat of strength.
Well,
nobody can do it.
I'm going to just say this. I view America, and I believe that this is a beautiful country that God created. Personally. This is Kurt's personal opinion. And I don't believe any man should be making borders and whatnot, but obviously it is what it is. But I view America like a haunted house. It may have been built, it may be beautiful, but it's too much blood on the hands. It's too much blood on the beams. There's too much blood in the woodwork and the nails in the wood. There's the blood of Native Americans. There's the blood. You know what it's called? Strange hanging fruit. Ooh, strange fruit. Look, if y'all don't know nothing about no Nina Simone, if y'all don't know nothing, look up strange fruit and that. Blood.
You want to talk about
blood on the
creepy
trees and blood at the root. This country is saturated with the blood and souls of not just African Americans, but way too many human beings
in general.
And you can feel. I'm sorry, you can feel the shift in energies. The last 10 years. No, what is it? 20? Yeah, in the last 10 years, the resurgence of hatred and racism and just lack of love.
I don't think it's a
beings.
resurgence. It's more like a shedding of like the cloak. Like people just
it's just showing their true colors.
People it's just like I'm gonna be racist out loud.
But I get why you say that. I don't want to. No, Tef, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
And Trump helped that shit.
I don't want to put that. No, you know what?
He helped. I didn't say he started.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Phoenix said
he
helped.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because I saw a lot of people come out there.
But then you know what? There's a political cartoon image of a match that looks like Donald Trump in his image. And in the crowd there's a bunch of little bombs. And it's amazing how one man with inflammatory speech, and I hate making this comparison because Lord knows I work for the federal government and that is definitely my employer. But I will say Hitler is a prime example of how one man can set into motion mass destruction. And I think that is the most prominent example we have as human beings, where hate and a destructive force just swept over.
But one thing you have to acknowledge America for, and I have to say this, is that there are different keys of power, where not one can be the ultimate say-so of everything.
Agreed, because there were checks and balances.
Yes.
Everything is checks and balances, but the problem with checks and balances is, at the end of the day, people will be people.
Yes.
Because I don't like when people say, oh, there's white privilege and it's that. I get it. I get it. Everybody has a certain level of privilege. As a man, I have male privilege.
Yeah, correct.
I was born as a man, so I automatically get treated differently than you.
We saw that also this weekend.
Yeah, plenty of that going around.
Right, they're automatically going to treat you. I always
and you do your best, and it's not anything on you, because when you notice it, you of course try to still make sure that you step in. Not try, you do step in and correct it. But it's just a matter of, like, for instance, they took your word for what you had to say when you wanted to be like, well, like, I'm staff, I'm here. And it was like, all right, cool. But then when me and Tuck tried to pull that, is, oh, where's your badge? Where's this? You don't have to. And then, but when you rolled up and came and collected us, that's then when it was a different story. Is, oh, he's there with him. They can go where they want now because they're with him. Like,
but only after we had been co-signed by you.
Yeah. I'm gonna just say this: there was a situation on the con floor where they didn't want to allow them on the floor. I walked right past them, and
no badge, no nothing.
No, I don't need no badges.
This was like
badges. We don't need no stinking badges.
Talk to Jason.
No. Because my thing is, I'm 6'1", 300 pounds, and I wear a crown.
Nobody coming at you. You intimidate.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not fair.
Yeah.
So I go back to, there's male privilege, there is a white privilege, there is some forms of black privilege. Because here's why. There are some things that we as black people are entitled to that other people are not. Case in point, I can say nigga.
Yeah.
I love people. Right where I was going.
It's not enough.
Makes my teeth.
It seemed like you was waiting to say.
Tap just hit the nail on the head. Tap, say it again.
I said that's not really enough.
And I'm not saying that it's enough, but you have to admit, I'm not saying it's a great privilege.
I would give it up for some of that other stuff.
I agree.
True.
I'm not taking that, but what I'm acknowledging is there are multiple forms of privilege. The problem is there's an inequality in the privilege.
Yes.
You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The issue isn't that there is a privilege. The issue is the privilege is an equal across all boards.
Yeah.
Right.
Like me and you can work the same 8-hour job. We're both African American, but because I'm a man and you're a woman, there's a wage gap.
Yeah.
My privilege, now mind you, I might not be making that much more to you, but the fact that there's an inequality makes it unfair. If it's 1 penny more and we do the exact same job at the exact same level, it's not fair.
But wait, are they trying to pass a law where you must, if anyone asks you whatever, or someone, your record is there to see how much you're paid an hour? Were they trying to pass something like that pretty soon?
Yeah. See, the problem is once you start opening them books,
Ooh,
yeah.
Lord.
It would open them up to a whole bunch of discriminatory lawsuits and stuff like that, and they're not trying to have that problem.
Well, and honestly, go ahead. Sassy,
No, because it made me think about also in certain places of which I will not name, where people have misconduct, two genders of people can have the same misconduct, but somehow the male still remains at the place, but the woman who participated in the same misconduct finds herself looking for another job.
Now, hold on. That also goes in another direction. And you know me, I have to play devil's advocate. If a man says, "Oh, I was sexually molested. Oh, I was raped. Oh, she sexually assaulted me or harassed me," that's not taken as seriously when a woman does it.
Yeah.
No, but that woman would lose her job either way, whether she accused the man or is accused by a man.
It's
A
a
woman
possibility.
would still more likely to
I
lose.
work in HR.
A woman would be more likely to lose her job.
I'm telling you, I work in HR. I have seen that not be the case.
I wish I could talk
I doubt
more, but I can't because I
I
have.
know. I mean, I can't talk about actual cases.
What about the case? Well, it's not a case, but McDonald's settled on the CEO because supposedly he had some sexual misconduct with another employee of McDonald's. They didn't really fire him, but they gave him a huge settlement package.
But that's my thing.
He stepped down and got a huge severance.
But that's the thing with these police officers that shoot people when they allow them to resign as opposed to firing these individuals.
Yeah.
It's like you get to walk away in the sunset.
Yeah, because that's not.
Yeah.
But that's
and get the chance to be rehired either there or somewhere else.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what I feel like what happened with Black Wall Street to kind of tie it all back. It was like America, you shat on this economic boom, and then you were allowed to settle out of court and move on with your life and reap the economic benefits of allowing that to be stifled.
They didn't even settle. They just moved on and moved in
There's no compromise in there.
There's
because
And consequently, there's nothing you can pay me to take away what you, the trauma.
the trauma
that
alone.
you done
Yeah.
to people in my family that's still going on today that's been passed down. How you pay that out of there?
But it's no different than, look, we all from Philadelphia. We remember the move by. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have been a little
Well, my
younger.
mom told me about it, about what it was. And
Well, we as Philadelphians, we know that story.
And the anniversary of that just passed not
Don't
too
get
long
me
ago.
started on that, but that's what I mean. And you can't say that was necessarily white, because that was a black man that dropped that bomb on him.
Wow, I didn't know
What I-
that part.
Yeah, it was Wilson Good.
Wilson Good.
It was Wilson.
Wilson Good.
Willie Good. Willie Good dropped the bomb on his own people. But I say that to say
On the block.
atrocities will never be able to be compensated in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And even now, we're in the process of even accepting that these atrocities even happen.
Well, the thing is, we keep on shredding the history books because most history books are written by who?
The victors.
The victor.
Thank you. So the thing is, when do we start telling our stories? When do we start passing on our lineage?
Well, wait a minute. That's a great segue before we get ready to get up out of here. You got a story to tell, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, tell the people about the story that you're telling and trying to bring the culture to the people.
Well, mainly, I decided to do a book called The Greenville Triangle. And the Greenville Triangle is a take on Black Wall Street. It will happen in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but it is incorporated with the books already written for Night Seeker, Star Enforcer, Merge. So it's a sci-fi take on Black Wall Street, but we're not going back in the past. Everything's all present day, but it takes place in a different dimension, where we cross into that dimension, and we see what would happen before it burned down.
So we get to see Black Wall Street in all its fine glory.
But the funny thing about this whole thing is this. It's a mixture of both the past and present history, and also the technology, and also the clothing. So we have our own clothing line also associated with this. It's very, very different.
So for people who are interested in keeping track of this project and getting more information, where can they go, E?
Yeah. So the best place to go is going to be it's our Comic-Con convention. So it's called Black Label Comic-Con. So all information from all my sites that we actually combine into one site now. For Star Enforcers, for Night Seeker, for the con that we're doing, Black Label Comic-Con. That is the site to go to for all information coming out right now for the new project. And also we're trying to do our next Black Label Comic-Con in August next year. I'll probably announcing the date in Thanksgiving this coming few weeks. And we want to have back at the Hampton Inn over by the on Ray Street next to the Convention Center. And we had a great time the first time. I know you guys had a great time.
No, we had a phenomenal time, and I am super excited to be back.
Oh yes.
And turn up like we listen. Actually, we're gonna see each other this Saturday.
Saturday,
in New York.
Yeah. Urban Action
Expo. Honestly, I must admit that it has been a benefit and a blessing to have you brothers come down and talk about your experience.
Where's my check?
And
he want compensation.
Ain't no reparations over here, dog.
Maybe Bitcoin. Give Bitcoin.
Listen. But what we can't do is we support the art.
I want him till I leave. And then until I get in the car.
Listen.
I had to give you one, man.
I am beyond impressed by what you're doing, Eric, and it's a shame that more people aren't trying to tell these stories or have a platform to be able to push them out. But through your website, through your art, and for everybody that got the benefit to see Phoenix doing his thing in the background, the brother's beyond talented. And you know, with JB and the rest of your crew, I think you guys are really changing the paradigm.
Well, the main thing is this. There are a lot of creators that we've seen lately in the Comic-Cons and other types of writing for, at least for the sci-fi superhero genre, is that a lot of these writers and creators doing stuff that just for entertainment value, but they teach not a goddamn thing.
Say it with your chest, bro.
They'll say nothing about our culture. They'll blackface everything. Oh, it's a black book, go get it. No, but it says nothing about us. It says nothing about our history, nothing about our past, and hopefully our future. And the thing is, if you're not leaving these seeds behind with other readers, they're not learning a damn thing, not learning anything about themselves. So it's downplaying who we are as a people. We are truly a warrior race, an intelligent race. It's time to start showing our true stars.
Listen, that's how you look. Hit the hype button for me, Sassy.
That's how we do it.
That's how we get ready to get up out of here. We got LIT Karaoke going on tonight. If you're free, it's Wednesday night. Why don't you make your hump day lit and take your behind right on down to Chuck's Alibi.
It's the first Wednesday of every month.
Facts. And by supporting this, you support the show because we need money and you need to sing and get drunk. I mean,
my nails don't just get like this for free.
Yo,
Yeah.
and next
That wig wasn't like a whole. That wig cost a little bit of money.
Yeah, I'm about to say. And Teflon says they're gonna have a booty meet out next one.
Oh, it's gonna be December.
The booty meat is on deck, and I might even let it cheek out too.
Make it rain, baby. Make it rain.
They all right with that. Listen, they all right with that.
It's a $200 cash prize, so if you can sing.
A bottle service too? Get bottle service?
Oh yeah, you can get bottle service.
But come in there prepared to like fight, because all of these people coming in there with their A game. It was one dude, he was like he was the R. Kelly without all the other part. Yeah, I was like, you can't talk about him.
No, what about
the
the grandpop who was in there grinding on the stage on the
That's what I'm talking about. That was him.
Hey, listen, if you want to see Grandpa around on the stage, y'all know where to be tonight. Head Nerds in Charge. We got Chocolate City up in here. We got Eric Cooper, my man Phoenix Nebula in the background.
Allentown.
In Allentown.
No,
Yes, Allentown Comic-Con. Coming up November
23rd and 24th.
We're going to be in the spot doing it, making it hot, doing what we do best, and we try to give you the dopest type of live performance that a Black Blur can do.
And don't forget about Urban Action Expo this Saturday over at the AMC Empire 25 on 42nd Street in New York.
Ooh, he got a better memory than I do. I told you, he does not take THC. Listen, that's what I'm about to say. Alcohol don't take your memory, but man. Anyway. I'm talking about other people. Not me.
Okay.
I'm talking about case studies that I Googled. Anywho. Listen, we get ready to get up out of here. Much love from the Head Nerds in Charge. Come check us out tonight. And if you can always see us here Wednesdays, 8 to 10 p.m. Keeping it locked. Well, we leave it at 9 today because we're trying to go ahead and turn up. But y'all already know what it is. We love you. We miss you. See you next week. We out.
Peace.